Why am I standing on the counter, you ask? It's because this is the final walkthrough and the house is supposed to be empty, but the seller left behind some of their personal belongings. And I'm afraid the buyer has zero interest in any of the items left behind. So instead of holding up closing or making a big stink out of this, I've worked with the list agent and the seller to take care of it. The seller doesn't want any of these items, so they've given me permission to remove them from the property and donate them. This was just a few items, so it wasn't a big deal, but in some cases, if the seller leaves behind a good amount of stuff, the buyer does have the ability to hold up closing over this, so I recommend that if you're selling your home, you get all that stuff out. Now, for the rest of the final walkthrough, I'm opening up all of the cabinets to make sure there aren't any other items left behind. I'm making sure that all of the appliances are working, that there are no leaks, making sure that the seller left behind the items that they were supposed to leave behind, like the fridge and the washer and dryer, because those things were negotiated. I'm also checking all the walls to make sure that in the process of moving out, the seller didn't knock any holes in the walls, that the home is left in the same condition that it was in at the time of the inspection. I've checked to make sure that the fireplace was in working condition and that all the TVs were left behind, because in this case, we negotiated for the seller to leave behind 2 of the TVs that were mounted on the wall. I've turned all the faucets on in the house to make sure there are no leaks that weren't there during the inspection. And once again, open all of the cabinets and drawers to make sure that no personal belongings were left behind. Something that is really gross, but I do it at every final walkthrough, is that I flush all the toilets and I actually feel behind the toilets to make sure that those aren't leaking. This is so disgusting to do, but it is very important to make sure that everything's in working condition. Also checking to make sure the remotes for the TVs were left behind, same thing as the garage door openers and the mailbox key. We also negotiated for the seller to leave behind a lawn ornament that was shaped like a cactus, so I'm making sure that that was left behind. And I'm also checking to make sure the pool equipment and the water heater has not started leaking since the inspection. Besides the items left behind, everything looks amazing and we are ready to close.